This is a sponge that, this is a continuation of part one. This is a sponge that I've used, as you can see, with the same type of paints when I was doing modelling on another kit. I'm just going to use the same one again. I can see there was red there. It doesn't really matter. So what we're going to do is get some burgundy. The idea with modelling is not to have it too intense. So basically about 2 drops I've put there, 2 blobs, whatever you wish to call it. You can see there. Now, the stroke and blend medium, I'm going to put about 1/2 ml to this. So that's not a lot. And then what I'm going to do is add some of the distilled water. Now, because I'm making this quite watered down, I'm going to put in 5 ml of the distilled water. And maybe, just by looking at that, maybe even more. So I'm going to put in, I'm running out of water here, let's fill it up again. How much have I got in there? Another 3 ml, total of 8. I think should do the trick. But we'll mix it and then find out if that's the consistency we want. As I said, it's important not to have too intense a modelling, because then it just looks like the baby's got spots all over it. And in reality, some babies are that way inclined. They do have a lot of modelling, but we're dealing with reborn babies here, and realism, as much as we'd like to achieve it, like if you give them something that is realistic in real babies, collectors may not think so. They may not like it. So we try and please and yet still stick to realism. So this is quite watery, which is good. So you can see there, when it runs down, if we put it up this way, you're just getting a slow run down. If we put it on the napkin, that's what it looks like. So, and we paint the cupboards here too. Never mind, the shelves I should say. We'll take this off, and then we just take our sponge, swirl it around, let it drip down to the bottom, and you just take what's left up the top. Always blot your sponge out first so there's not excessive paint on here. So we'll begin with the head. Excuse me. I've had this cold, if you wish to call it that, over several months, and it keeps coming and going and coming and going, and I am over it, really, well and truly. I always start at the back of the head, by the way, and as you can see there, it's quite light. It's not in your face type modelling. So we're going to do several layers of different colours, and it all depends on what tone, what colour skin tone you're aiming for, as well as to what colours you will use. Like peaches and cream will be different, olive complexion would be different. The basic colours are the same, but you might say, for example, if you're doing a olive skin tone, that you might use burnt sienna as a modelling layer, whereas if you were doing peaches and cream, you wouldn't use a burnt sienna, or burnt umber, I should say. Now that's too much. I've got too much paint on there. What are you thinking, Anne? So just behind the ears, and then gradually bring it around to the face. Don't overdo it. Over the entire part. There we go. And see, you can hardly see it on the face, and that's fine. Just check that you haven't left any blobs anywhere. Yep, that'll do. Hardly there on their face, and that's fine. I've got to pick this one up by its ear. It's terrible. There's no flange for me to hold on to because these are full-bodied babies. So we'll do an arm. Wrong one. Just use that. And dab some more. Take off the excess. I generally start with the little hand. Now also remember that mottling is more intense in the lower extremities from the heart. So the further away the extremity, like your legs for example, or your baby's legs, there'll be more mottling, just slightly more intense mottling. Whereas the arms are a little bit, well, a lot closer to the heart, so they would have a better blood flow. I just realised I haven't got my glasses on, the proper ones. Okay, so anyway, we'll do it with this now. And that's about the extent of it there. Again, you can hardly see it. You will, as you build up, you'll see more anyway, but it's about the extent of it. And we'll do a leg. Just all the same. You just do it all the same. That creaking you can hear is my chair, which is very, very old. And it creaks. Okay, so I do under the little foot as well. And the back of the little leg. The remainder of the leg. And here. Okay. Now that's all there is to it. By the time I finish this kit, oops, don't put your foot in there. Talking to a leg part. It'll be dry for this, ready for the second application, which is what I love about these paints, because you don't have to sit around waiting and waiting and waiting for them to air dry off and then bake them, wait for them to cool if you're using Genesis, and so much time is wasted. It's not wasted, but you know what I mean. So that's the end of part one, and I'll be back again tomorrow to show you part, well, or maybe later today, show you part two.